Women Crump Wednesday, where the women in Crump are celebrated for what they do so well every day. Because the women in Crump are buck in every way. On Wednesdays, we get bug. Yeah.
Big rules.
Hi, I'm Buckerfly, and you are watching Women Crump Wednesday, where we know that the women in Crump are buck in every way. Today, our special guest is Zenith AKA Lady Variant from California, but she represents Atlanta since that's where she started her Crump career, and she currently lives there. She is the owner of Spice Up Hair LLC and Conyers in Atlanta. And so, yeah. Hi, how are
Hey,
you?
thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you. So, how have you been throughout this pandemic and everything like that?
Um, I think it's giving me the patience. It's helping me center myself, be grateful, um, and kind of just slow down a little bit. You know, things can, normal life is like fast paced and going and going and going. And the coronavirus, I think it's I think it's put everybody on like halt mode or rest mode. So I did a lot of resting, I did a lot of reflection, planning, just calmer energy thing. So yeah.
Feel that for real.
Right.
So when did you start Crump and what was the inspiration behind that?
Okay, so I'm from Pasadena, California. Everybody, at least in Southern California, is aware of clowning. Um, when I was in middle school, elementary, we were fascinated with clown dancing because we would see Tommy the Clown and the clowns come to birthday parties and stuff. And it was like that was the thing. So I call myself clown dancing. I was never in any group, but those people who aspired would be dancing in the house with their friends and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was that person. So I was always interested in clown dancing, which of course is the foundation, or Crump is derived from that. And then coming out here to Atlanta after high school, I was already studying dance. And some people that I was going to church with, Joffrey, which is worship in Virginia, and Patrick, they invited me to the Crump sessions that they were always having here in at a place called Seven Stages in Atlanta, Seven Stages Theater. And I'm like, yeah, I want to learn how to crump. Like, because I was like, I used to love clown dancing. And I know, and just like most people who weren't in the dance scene before Crump or in, underground or dance scene, you're like, oh, people are still like crumping. I was like that person, even though it was like, I'm studying ballet, I'm studying modern, I'm studying jazz, but it's like, there's two different worlds. So
Yeah.
I went to a dance session and with some of my homegirls, and I was like, oh, hell yeah. I'm learning this. And this was back in 2014. Yeah, 2014. And I went and Goliath, OG Goliath was out here. And he and Variant, Marcus, kind of walked up to me and were like, hey, I don't know if you guys just like watching, which is cool, or, you want to learn, but whoever you like, they can definitely teach you. And I'm just like, listen, I like all of y'all for real. But I actually pointed to Variant, who's not my big homie, who's also my fiance.
Hey.
So that's basically how it happened. He and Jabron, another crumper out here, taught me, and everybody else, stories out here, Papa T, Sean, Mater, everybody participated in the cultivation of my foundation and my basics in Crump. So I'm grateful to everybody, of course, especially my big homie, because he's really the teacher that doesn't know that he's a teacher. One of those crumpers that's like, no, I don't want to teach no class, and that's my big homie, But he literally taught me everything. So yeah.
That's awesome. Like, especially like since you are from the general area of where Crump originated, and then like seeing like different ways of life basically through the Crump.
Yes,
So
for
that's
sure. Yeah.
dope.
It was awesome.
Yep. All right. So what is one of your favorite women crumpers?
Good question. I mean, I think the person right now who I feel like is like the craziest, Queen Buckhype has been a favorite of mine for a while. And of course, I'm not downplaying anybody because every woman is great, for real. They have the potential to be great. But there's something about one shot that's like murderous. When I say the embodiment, almost the complete embodiment of everything in Crump that I know. Literally, like she's buck. She can get live. Her get off is crazy. Material details. It's when I see her, I'm just like, and I love like Queen Buckhype's power, and I think I'm more of a power buck dancer. So I see like my elevation in like Queen Buckhype. Like I just think she's fascinating. I don't know. I just love everybody. Like I think Whitney, that Whitney for Georgia. Another person who helped me with my foundation. She literally taught me the chest pop. It's something about her crowd control that's just like ridiculous. It's like, I don't even know. Like, what are you actually doing? Like, what are you actually doing? I freaking love Monica. It's so funny because I try to like comment and stuff. I'm so like a fan. Like, I don't really be talking, but I'm so like a fan. I'm such a fan of like so many women, but I don't be talking to nobody. I'm trying to do better. But I think Monica is probably another person who is the almost complete embodiment of everything in Crump that I know. And I think, inspiration is definitely inspiring.
That's what's up. I was gonna so if you could go to back to any era in Crump,
Ooh,
what era would it be?
ooh, you're killing me, Small. You're killing me. I don't. I think I would just the beginning. Uh, the garage and in I's mother's house, literally there in the living room and there in the garage. Just seeing that beginning stage, the beginning stages. Like even if it were when Rise was being filmed, like seeing that come together, that literally being cultivated with Chrissy and Lil C and Miho and I and everybody. I think it's like I think that's really special to have the understanding of the history of Crump. You know, like this literally came from somebody's house, like the homie house. You know what I mean? Like the homie's garage. And this thing is worldwide now. I think it's beautiful. It just shows the power of our Black people and what we can really do.
Nice. So now I'm going to talk about your business. So like you have a business called Spice Up Hair LLC. And tell me more about your business. Like how did you get into the hair business and like why?
Okay. Hmm. So back in California, uh, the first thing before dance was and has always been hair. I just remember the day, and shout out to my lovely mother. Um, she did a hairstyle I didn't like, and I was like, "Dang, like your mom gonna do what she want to do. We think we grown. We think we know what we want, you know." So I just remember asking for like a super design, and she did it. I just didn't like it. And I think that was the day when I was like, I'm gonna just start trying to do my own hair. And that's what happened. But I already had little Barbies with little blonde hair Barbies because it was barely black Barbies at that time. And black braiding hair and the blonde Barbie heads. That's how it started. And then it was my ugly cornrows in my head until it became cute cornrows in my head. And then it became beautiful box braids. Like, who did your hair? I did my hair. And I'm like, oh, so that kind of just progressed as I got older. Started doing family's hair. And then college was when I made it a business. And that's really why I started was just that I wanted to create what I wanted to see
Yeah.
in my own head. And, hair and Black women, they hand in hand. That was just part of our upbringing. Auntie did your hair, mama did your hair, whatever. And you probably gonna be doing hair too, at least a little bit, even if it's just your own. So that was
Hmm.
just kind of how that created. But college, when it became a business, meaning that I was doing hair in the dorms, in the lounges, and that's how I made money in school. I don't have a lot of money coming up, so my parents really couldn't afford to always send me money, but I needed money. I wanted to hang out with my friends. I wanted to do stuff, so I did the skill that I had built up, and I made that a business. And then the reality of the situation came where I'm in school and I'm studying dance and theater, and I'm also doing hair. So then it always became a balance. It was always a balance of dance and hair and dance and hair and dance and hair. Um, and now, it's a thing. Oh yeah, that's really how it came to be.
Nice. Do you see yourself ever offering services at for a Crump event as far as like for a weekend um event or something like that?
Yeah, for sure. What has been happening is whenever there is something in Atlanta, I have done some dancers' hair. But I'm trying to figure out how that will work out, kind of planning more, because I would love to do that. I also understand that depending on certain styles, some will get, like, people will sweat their hair out.
Yeah.
Some will get after, but I'm definitely open to it. I have no problem booking with a salon nearby for a space to do that. And that is actually a goal of mine, to start offering services at different events when I do travel. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because that's something that like as a person that doesn't do my own hair,
Yeah.
um sometimes like right before an event, I'm like, man, like I need to go get my hair done, some
Right.
and
Right.
things like that. So even if it's like I gotta come before the event, like
Mhm.
trying to find a hairstylist
Right.
that I
Right.
would trust, it would be hard. But yeah, so
Right. For sure.
anyways. So the name Zenith, where did that name come from? And yeah, tell me more about that name or character.
Okay, so it is still in the works, but zenith means basically to the highest extent, to the highest point, the highest elevation. And that is a goal for me in Crump in general. One thing I struggle, a weakness of mine, is to continuously build around, right? So the idea from what I've learned from the creators is to build around and to leave to finish on a high note, a climactic point, right? And I kind of took that and focusing on whether it is dancing to the heavens, whether it's to focus on being live in the upper dimension, um, and kind of just exuding high energy and being really live and just bringing up the energy of the crowd, of the people around me. So that is a goal. And I think I have some of that now, and it's still something that I'm growing with. Um, the style, again, is still under works, but the character, I'm still kind of teetering between two different entities. Um, one being more of an alien, one being more of a supernatural being, kind of maybe like a She-Hulk or a Wonder Woman. You're not from this planet, and you have this extra strength, this extra energy, and you're exuding that. So,
I like it.
awesome. Thanks.
All right. Tell me a little bit more about um the variant style.
Okay, so variant. Variant, um, other words derived as variation, to vary. It is to have different forms or slightly different form from the source. That is kind of the formal definition. But really, it is to play and to explore with every element of Crump. It's not necessarily to have a character. So some people, their character might be, I'm a monster, or I don't know, I'm a scientist, or our variant isn't really focused on character. The style is very methodical. It can be mechanical, um, and it is structured just to show strategy and to excel in every element. So it is basically this person or entity that has worked on jabs and placements to the T. It could also be like a prototype. Um, has worked on every dimension, can literally do anything that you need to whatever music that's played, to whatever environment they're around. They are adaptive and expressive in a variety of ways. That's basically what the variant style is. So I don't necessarily look like my big homie, and it's because we don't have a specific like character group in that way, but we are just embodying and trying to excel in everything within Crump.
That's
Yeah.
What is your favorite basic in Crump?
Um, I would say probably chest chest bangs and bangs. Um, yeah, like as you become like as I think everyone learns Crump, you start to gravitate to different things, and I think I gravitated to hard body hitting, like that Miho breathing. Like I like the breathing chest pop as well, but I like snatches. I don't know, just the hardness. So it'll probably be like the chest and buckness, chest work, chest bang, chest hits, and being buck, like that presence, that aggression, or not even really just aggression, just that hardness. I like that. I'm not really prissy in my Crump. I'm not really sassy. Shout out to the women that are. It don't come out when I Crump. It just does not come out. It doesn't.
Hey,
Hard aggressiveness comes out.
if everybody was like the same, it would be boring. So
Right,
like,
right,
there needs to be balance. So it's
right.
good. Like that's one thing I really enjoy about watching you is like that like heaviness like that
Yeah,
you bring into like I don't know, it's just like a boom. Ooh.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
first
I
time
love
I
it.
saw you was at Queen Session.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, wow. Like, okay. Like I really don't have any words, but like yeah. So that's
Thanks.
but yeah, so like that really like was dope to see because like yeah, like you said, there's like a lot of different like there are people that are prissy, like me.
Yeah,
Um
for sure.
but I like to play with power
Right.
and stuff like that. So like seeing other women do it is
Yeah.
a lot easier to grasp for my own self
Right.
other than seeing a man. Because like seeing a man,
Exactly.
it's like, wow, that's cool. But I just
Right.
can't imagine it placed on me, if that.
Yeah. Yes, it's really something too, because I think who you learn from and around plays a big part in
Mhm.
what you see, of course, too. And I think when I first started, I seen Lady C4. Lady C4 has, I'll say, a low amount of femininity in her crump. And I like that. And then um, it's mostly men other than Lady Rip, well, Queen Rip, Stephanie, who's near me. So when we learn, we didn't have a lot of women around us because it's just men. We're the only two women down here, other than when Whitney was down here. Um, and I think that plays a part in how you grow and prep. Of course, you can always change your style and things like that, but yeah.
Okay. Um, what do you want your legacy to be? Like not just for Crump, but just in general.
Okay. Hmm. These are some great questions. Um, I would say I would want to be known as a person who put themselves out there, who wasn't afraid, um, who was diverse, and the things that they did and the things that I did. Eclectic in a way. I like that, kind of embodying a different things. But then also not just being at uh, a low rate, like being at an elevated rate, doing it to the best of my ability. Um, with hair, I want to be known. I'm not really for popularity in the sense. With hair, I want to make people happy. So if I have a consistent, I don't know, 200 clients versus 500, like some stylists, that's okay. I just want the people who have encountered me in any way, have seen my dance, them to be inspired, to know that women can do this too. That'd be great. Because I do think women especially can benefit from Crump,
Mm-hmm.
and expressing ourselves in a different way. And with hair, the same. To understand that this is something that I enjoy. Um, and you can, I think, a legacy to understand that we are not one way. People in general are not one way.
Yeah.
You're not just a soft dancer if you do ballet. You can also do crump. You're not just the person that goes to your warehouse job. You know what I mean? You can also do hair. You know, whatever that is, you can be a mother and a father and also run your business. Like that's who everyone is, and kind of showing that with my life would be great. To give people that, um, just that view, that perspective of you can do four things, and that's okay too, because you might not just like one thing. And I think that's special for people to understand. You know.
Nice. If you could give a a a woman or a girl in Crump some advice that you've learned, what would it be?
Hmm. um, I think that my advice would be is that it's not a race, and to not compare yourself to other people. I think Crump is a complex thing now. I think, and I think that takes time, takes training, um, and to be committed. Because I think I have slowed down, and I think a lot of that comes from not having confidence and comparing when really your crump has to be for you first before it can really bless anyone else. Um, so I think my advice would definitely be take your time, learn and master those basics, and that whatever that means. Not really rushing into, um, the flashy stuff. The flashy stuff is nice, but to preserve the culture, I think is to have a real genuine understanding of where we've came from and why it is complex now, why there are names for movements, and what
Mm-hmm.
does that mean? And then where did that come from in history? You know what I mean? Who did that? Where did that come from? From clowning? I think all that stuff, the history of Crump, it makes it keeps Crump culture rich.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you have that, go off. You know what I mean? Go off and build that confidence to know that you be Buckerfly. You know what I'm saying? And I be Zenith, and everyone be whoever you are in Crump. And everyone's Crump is going to look different. And again, to not compare, because you're you and I'm me. And, you know, we might both have arms and legs to do this dance at different heights and different weights and look different and smaller this and bigger that. And none of that matters. It's all about you being satisfied and happy with your expression and your dance style. And then to go out and show the world.
Yes. And with that, do you have any more things that you would like to say that I didn't ask, or do you have any shout outs that you would like to give?
What would I like to say? Um, Shout out to all, for real, for real, for real. I think what I want to say is shout out to all the women, right? But also, I think the unity of women in Crump is so important. And I just want to say that the unity of women in Crump is so important. Women, we can become catty and nasty toward each other. And I think it comes from us all growing and maturing in adulthood. But I think we have to understand that everyone has different personalities. Things can be misconstrued, playing telephone through people, you know, rumor this, I said that. And I would really just like for something like the Queen session to continue, Wonder Woman events to continue, because in any type of organization or business, Crump is that same. Crump is the same. Things thrive when women are happy and when women are a part of it as well.
Yes.
So if there is an influx of just men crumping and not now, thank God, because right now the influx of women is growing, and I think that is important. And I think it's so important for the balance within Crump, and then for us women, of course, to get on the same page in a way. We don't always see eye to eye, but respecting one another and always encouraging everyone's dance and assisting as we can in anything. That's going to help, because back in the day, there was just so many women doing it. But what happens is women float in and out the same way I said that, you know, I slowed down at a point. I think that us always encouraging, come back to it. You know, we all say we love this thing.
Mm-hmm.
To what extent? You know what I mean? And I get that it might not always pay, and you might not always feel that it's worth it. But the only time you find out something is worth it is when you're really giving your time and energy to it and being positive in it. So again, just being positive toward the other women, specifically in Crump, helping each other, being there for each other, I think is important. Shout out to every woman in Crump and every girl in Crump. Shout out to the men that are positive and healthy in Crump and that are genuinely wanting to help women in Crump. Shout out to the OGs like Miho, who has given me a class, and I so appreciate it. Just shout out to everybody who is genuine in their heart in regards to Crump, who don't think ill of other people for immature reasons or minor disagreements. Because when we get past that small stuff, I think specifically the U.S. can be a greater force in Crump, and as we should be, because we have the Mecca right there with the coast. We have Eyes and Miho here. And I think that Crump is large in other countries when I think it should be larger here. Don't be fighting at sessions. I'm sorry, I just want to say that. Crump is literally supposed to be the antithesis of being physically violent toward one another, especially within the Black community, the origin of Crump. You know what I mean? So I just think that's some stuff I want to say. Again, shout out to everybody being positive in this thing. Encourage one another, encourage one another, encourage one another. Please. And that's all I got.
Okay, so thank you everyone for tuning in for this week's Women Crump Wednesday. Buckerfly and Zenith AKA Lady Variant. Um, just stay positive.
Yeah.
Um, it's hard times, but it's always been hard times for our community. So this is nothing new. Just a different obstacle. So yeah, stay positive, stay buck, express, but try not to fight. All right. Bye. See you next time.
Thank you.
Women Crump Wednesday, where the women in Crump are celebrated for what they do so well every day. Because the women in Crump are buck in every way. On Wednesdays, we get bug. Yeah. Women Crump Wednesday, where the women in Crump are celebrated for what they do so well every day. Because the women in Crump are buck in every way. On Wednesdays, we get bug. Yeah.